guys, what's going on? Here is my NFL Week 10 power ranking. So let me just say this before we get into this power ranking. This was definitely the hardest power ranking I've had to do so far this season. So this power ranking is definitely not perfect. Like, this was very complicated. So don't roast me if you don't like it, because I don't think it's perfect either. I never think these power rankings are perfect. So let's just start off with number 32. This was the easiest one on this power ranking. No offense to the Lions. But yes, the Lions come in at number 32. They're the only team without a win, so, you know, like, that makes sense. Coming in at number 31, I have the Houston Texans. So they lost versus the Dolphins this weekend. They turned the ball over 4 times, and they could not even score 1 touchdown. At number 30, I have the New York Jets. So Mike White, he got hurt early in the game versus the Colts. Then Josh Johnson stepped in to play quarterback. He is the Jets' third-string quarterback. He honestly didn't play terrible, but really this game was just all Colts. At number 29, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars, and this team probably had the most surprising win this weekend versus the Bills. I mean, what a big win for the Jaguars. This Jaguars D-line had a really, really insane game. I mean, they really got to Josh Allen this game. I mean, Josh Allen really got to Josh Allen this game. Josh Allen of the Jaguars really got to Josh Allen of the Bills this game. Josh Allen of the Bills was sacked 4 times. At number 28, I have the Miami Dolphins. So they finally got another win. This is their first win since week 1 of the season. I mean, they turned the ball over a ton, but the defense, it really stepped up, and it didn't allow 1 touchdown in their win. At number 27, I have the Washington football team. They were on a bye, so nothing there. At number 26, I have the Carolina Panthers. So this is probably the worst 4-win team in the league right now. They have only won 1 game since their really hot 3-0 start. And I gotta be honest, guys, Sam Darnold is not a starting NFL quarterback. He threw 3 interceptions and no touchdowns in this loss versus the Patriots. At number 25, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. So a very tough loss for the Eagles versus the Chargers. A really heartbreaking loss if you're an Eagles fan. The defense just could not get, you know, that big final stop that they needed. But I just want to say shout out to Jalen Hurts, because it seemed like he played really, really well in this game, especially when he was under pressure, just being able to roll out of the pocket and just make plays happen. At number 24, I have the New York Giants. So they won versus the Raiders this past weekend. This defense is looking like the defense we saw last season, the top 10 Giants defense that we saw last season. And you guys can go see my reaction to this game if you want some more content about this game. At number 23, I have the Chicago Bears. So yes, this was one of the worst officiated games I have seen. Some of the calls or no calls in this game were actually insane. I mean, we all know that that taunting call was absolutely atrocious. Just terrible, terrible, terrible call. But lining up in the neutral zone multiple times late in the 4th quarter is really bad if you're the Bears. And that obviously comes down to coaching, and coaching has been an issue for the Bears, and you just can't have that late in the game. Shout out to Justin Fields, though, because he played an insane game, and just think about how good Justin Fields is going to be when the Bears' offensive line can block for more than 1 second. At number 22, I have the San Francisco 49ers. So what is going on with the 49ers? Why is this team playing so bad? How did they lose to the Cardinals when the Cardinals didn't even play Kyler Murray or DeAndre Hopkins? I mean, how did this 49ers defense allow Colt McCoy to complete 22 of 26 passes for 249 yards and 1 touchdown? At number 21, I have the Seattle Seahawks. They were on a bye, so nothing to talk about there. At number 20, I have the Minnesota Vikings. So they lost versus the Ravens in overtime this weekend, and I just gotta say this. I feel like the Vikings do not know how to win games. I feel like they're a much better team than their record says, but I feel like they don't know how to win games, and that obviously comes down to coaching, but this team can't close out games. At number 19, speaking of teams that sometimes can't close out games but have been closing out games recently, we have the Atlanta Falcons. They are 4-4, and what a win for them versus the Saints. Coming off a week where the Saints should just, you know, beat the Buccaneers, they go in and they get the win versus the Saints. I mean, this Falcons offense was playing awesome this game. This defensive line for the Falcons was getting so much pressure. Cornerbacks and defensive backs were just not allowing Saints wide receivers to get separation as well. And Younghoe Koo, the Atlanta Falcons kicker, I have to give a shout out to him. He's one of my favorite kickers in the league, but this dude is almost single-handedly ending the Atlanta sports curse. I know the Braves just won the World Series and all that, so let me just say the Falcons curse, because he has hit multiple game-winning field goals this season. He hit one in this game versus the Saints. They were down 1 in the final seconds. He perfectly hits a game-winning field goal. I mean, the dude is really, really clutch. So shout out to him. And if the season ended today, the Falcons would be in the playoffs. How crazy is that? At number 18, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. So did I move the Bengals down too far in this power ranking? Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but the thing is this is where the power ranking gets really difficult, and I had to make decisions because if I didn't, I would be literally staring at this power ranking all day trying to decide who goes where. And this literally took me forever to decide where I should put the Bengals. The Browns absolutely dominated the Bengals this weekend. I think we're starting to see the flaws, in this Bengals offensive line. Joe Burrow just looked off in this game, and I think that might be because of the offensive line. And I don't know what happened to this defense. It's all of a sudden playing bad. At number 17, I have the Denver Broncos. So what an impressive road win for the Broncos versus the Cowboys. They gave up 0 points to this Cowboys offense through the first 3 quarters. They held the Cowboys offense to 0 points throughout 3 quarters. That is actually insane. At number 16, I have the Indianapolis Colts, so it was a very easy win for them on Thursday Night Football versus the Jets. At number 15, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. So you might be asking, why would I move the Chiefs down after a win? Well, I am doing this because I had them higher in this power ranking because I just thought they were going to snap out of this, bad playing stretch, the stretch of them playing bad football. But it doesn't seem like they are going to snap out of the playing bad football stretch because it just seems like that's what this team is this year. It just seems like this isn't a great football team this season. So I felt like I had to, remove the biases from the past 2 seasons and stop thinking about the Chiefs of the past 2 seasons and just look at them as the team that they are this season. And they're a middle of the pack team this season. They really are, at best. So I had to move them down to number 15. At number 14, I have the Las Vegas Raiders. So they lost versus the Giants this past weekend. Derek Carr, he looked very off in this game, but then again, so many good teams looked off this past weekend. At 13, I have the New England Patriots. So this team now has a winning record after their win this weekend versus the Panthers. This team really does have some momentum now. They've been stacking wins, and this defense is playing really, really well. At number 12, I have the New Orleans Saints. So this game was a huge surprise to me because this Saints defense played so well 2 weeks ago versus the Buccaneers offense, and then they play really not good versus the Atlanta Falcons offense. I mean, the Falcons offense was looking really good versus the Saints defense. This defense consistently needs to play really good football for this team to be a playoff contender, and they did not play good football this past weekend. At number 11, I have the Buffalo Bills. So 2 back-to-back pretty bad games for the Bills. 2 weeks ago, they almost lost to the Dolphins. I mean, they won, but the game was 3-3 at half. And then obviously this week, they lost to the Jaguars and could not score 1 touchdown. The Bills just need to try and establish the run. They ran the ball with their running backs a total of 9 times in this game and had their quarterback, Josh Allen, throw the ball almost 50 times. That is just putting way too much on your quarterback. You just have to try. Just try to establish the run. At number 10, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Steelers are stacking wins. They have won 4 games in a row after this week's win versus the Bears. I really, really like the way this defense is playing. And if Ben Roethlisberger continues to not turn the ball over, this team could win a handful of games or a lot of games. At number 9, I have the Cleveland Browns. So what a win for this team versus the Bengals. I mean, this game seemed like it was never close. Baker Mayfield looked like a totally different quarterback in this game. He looked like he was feeling better in this game. So did Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb looked healthy in this game. He had a crazy game. And this defense played the way it's been playing all season. Very well. At number 8, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. So they won this past weekend versus the Eagles. Herbert, he looked back to himself. He had a really good game. But the thing that concerns me about this team is the defense. This defense really concerns me. At number 7, I have the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar is the comeback king. He just continually leads this team to comeback victories. I am concerned about this Ravens defense as well, though. I feel like they're giving up too many points. At number 6, I have the Los Angeles Rams. So a really, really bad loss for them versus the Titans. I mean, they just looked so bad on both sides of the ball. On offense and defense, they did not look like a good team. This game was honestly over, it felt like, in the second quarter. At number 5, I have the Dallas Cowboys. So this is another team that had a really bad and a really surprising loss this weekend. How did this offense put up 0 points through 3 quarters? I'm honestly so shocked because this offense is so good. They just looked really off, and sometimes that happens for good teams. They have off weeks. At number 4, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were on a bye, but I moved them up 1 spot because, all the good teams were losing this week. At number 3, I have the Green Bay Packers. So yes, they lost versus the Chiefs. Jordan Love was making his first NFL start. yeah, he really didn't play too good, right? But I felt like they were being so overly critical of him on the broadcast. I mean, he was making his first NFL start kind of short notice, on the road. I know he didn't play great, but they were being so critical of him. The defense played well. They played well for as long as they could with the offense playing the way it was, but they just couldn't make that final big stop. But let me say this, the Packers haven't dropped super low in this power ranking after that loss, or lower than this in the power ranking after that loss, because I felt like if Aaron Rodgers could play in that game, the Packers would have won by a good amount. At number 2, I have the Tennessee Titans. So I don't understand this team. I don't understand how this team keeps winning, but that doesn't matter because all they do is win. They just keep winning, and it's absolutely crazy. They made this Rams team look silly in front of their home crowd on Sunday Night Football. They now have 5 wins in a row. 5 in a row. Crazy. And returning to the number 1 spot in my power ranking after being out of it for 1 week, I have the Arizona Cardinals. So they are 8-1. And they won easily versus the 49ers without Kyler Murray or DeAndre Hopkins. This defense was getting so much pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo. They were creating turnovers. The defense played really well. And a win like this without 2 of your best players is really a statement win, especially because it was a divisional game. So that is it for this video, guys. Let me know down below what you think of this power ranking. Make sure you drop a thumbs up if you like this video and subscribe. Peace!